The winter jungle was quiet and still, the only sound, the soft crunch of the snow under Jack's boots. The stars above twinkled like tiny diamonds in the deep indigo sky, and the moon cast a silvery glow over the frosty landscape. Jack walked beside Grace, the friendly giraffe, while Toby, Luna, and Teddy played in the snow ahead. Teddy suddenly stopped and pointed his little paw. "Look, over there," he said excitedly. Jack and Grace followed his gaze to see a shimmering arch in the distance. It sparkled under the moonlight, and faint beams of light danced across the snowy ground. "That's the Moonlit Ice Bridge," Grace said softly. "It only appears on the coldest, clearest nights. Legends say it leads to a hidden glade filled with glowing frost blooms." "Let's go," Teddy said, hopping with excitement. Grace lowered her neck and smiled. "We must walk carefully, little one. The bridge is delicate, but it's worth the journey." The group moved toward the glowing bridge, their steps careful on the icy path. As they got closer, the bridge's beauty became even more breathtaking. It was made entirely of crystal clear ice, with patterns of frost that shimmered like stars frozen in time. Teddy took the first step, his little paws slipping slightly before he steadied himself. "It's cold, but it feels safe," he called back. Grace stepped lightly onto the bridge, her hooves making soft musical sounds as they touched the ice. Jack followed close behind, marveling at the way the moonlight seemed to make the bridge glow from within. As they crossed, the jungle below seemed to stretch out endlessly, a sea of snow and frost shimmering in the moonlight. "It's like walking in a dream," Jack said softly. Halfway across, tiny glowing specks began to appear in the air around them. They floated gently like snowflakes made of light. "Are those frost spirits?" Jack asked, his voice full of wonder. Grace nodded. "They are the keepers of the Moonlit Ice Bridge. They guide those who walk it safely to the glade." When they reached the other side of the bridge, they found themselves in a magical glade, surrounded by glowing frost blooms. Each bloom radiated a soft, colorful light, pink, blue, gold, and white, like tiny lanterns scattered across the snow. Teddy ran ahead, his paws kicking up little puffs of snow. "It's so pretty," he said, his voice filled with awe. The group settled in the middle of the glade, the frost blooms casting a gentle light around them. Grace laid down her neck, curling protectively around Jack as he sat beside her. Toby and Luna curled up near Teddy, who was already starting to yawn. The frost spirits floated around them, their light dimming slightly, as if to say good night. Jack leaned back against Grace and looked up at the stars twinkling above. "This feels like a story you don't want to end," he murmured, his voice soft with sleepiness. Grace smiled, her voice as calm as the winter breeze. "The magic of the jungle is always here, little one, waiting for us to discover it again." The group rested for a while, surrounded by the glow of the forest. and the frost blooms and the peaceful hum of the winter jungle. When it was time to leave, they crossed the bridge once more, the frost spirits lighting their way. Back at their cozy den, Jack curled up in his blanket, the memory of the glowing glade and the moonlit ice bridge fresh in his mind. "Good night, Grace. Good night, Toby, Luna, and Teddy," he said softly. "Good night, Jack," Grace replied, her voice warm and soothing. The foxes whispered their good nights, and soon the den was filled with the gentle sounds of sleep. Outside, the moonlit ice bridge shimmered faintly under the stars, holding its magic for the next clear, frosty night.